Welcome 7th graders to lesson 11.4. I can find the mean, median, mode, and range of a set of data. These are known as our measures of central tendency. At the end of this lesson, you should be able to also explain what happens to the mean, median, mode, or range when a piece of data is deleted or added to a set of data. This is starting on page 591 of our textbook. There's also some notes on Moodle that you can print and add to as we go. So, these are the different types of measures of central tendencies and range. The mean is the sum of data divided by the number of items in the set. The median is the middle number of the data ordered from least to greatest, or the mean of the middle of those two numbers. So if there's an odd number, you'll have a middle number, but if there's an even number, you'll have to find the mean of those two. The mode, I like to think of the mode as the most, mode of most, is the number of numbers that occur most often. And the range is the difference, meaning subtraction, between your largest number and your smallest number in the set. To find measures of central tendencies, you have to look at the data, and we'll go through how to do these. So there are ages and years of people seated at a table. They're 22, 18, 24, 32, 24, 18. So we're going to find the mean, median, mode, and range. Again, the mean, you're going to add up all of the individuals' ages. You're going to add them all up together for a total of 138. But you're going to divide by the number of people that there are, which is 6. So you'll end up with the mean, or the average age, being 23 years old. The median, you are going to order them least to greatest. Make sure you order them least to greatest. So we rearrange 18, 18, 22, 24, 24, and 32. Since there's an even number, we have to add these two middle numbers together. So we'd find that middle number. So I cross off starting on the outside, and I see that I have two middles. Add them and divide for the median of 23 years old. The mode, I look at the data and see which number shows up most often. So I look at my least to greatest. I look at my least to greatest here, and I see that the numbers 18 and the number 24 both show up twice. So since they both show up twice, which is more than any other number, there's two modes, which is 18 and 24 years old. The range, which is a little less central, it's less in the middle, is my largest number of 32 minus my smallest number of 18, and there's a difference of 14 years between all of these people. So we can try this example doing those things. The prices of a parking at several lots are listed below. We're going to find the mean, median, mode, and range, and we're going to round to the nearest cent. Remember, cent is the hundredths place right here. Okay? So to find the mean, remember we add them all up. So we're going to add 3 plus 250 plus 6 plus 550 plus 3 plus 425, and we are going to get a total of $24.25. That's not our mean yet, and we see that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 total numbers. So we divide by the numbers in the set, and we end up with 404 and some other numbers on the end, but since it says round, the other number at the end, since it's smaller than 5, so you end up with 1 at the end. Since that's smaller than 5, we just leave it at 4 for an answer of $4.04 is our average or mean price. The median, remember we have to order numbers least to greatest. So we're going to order 250, then 3, then 3, then 425, then 550, then 6. So we're going to cross off least to greatest to find our middle. So least, greatest, next greatest. Notice we have two numbers in the middle, so we have to add these two together, and we get 725, and we divide by 2 to find that middle number, and we're going to end up rounding that. 725 divided by 2 turns out to be 3 and 625 thousandths. So we'd round up for our median to be $3.63. Our mode is the number that shows up most often, mode the most. So I order them again, least to greatest. It's supposed to be a 50, my bad. 550. It's getting a little messy here with this pen. And 6. So which numbers show up the most? It looks like 3 repeats twice. So my mode then, the number shows up most, is going to be $3. The range then is going to be my largest number, 6, with a difference minus my lowest number of $2.50 for a range of $3.50. There we go. So again, different circumstances call for different measures. Which one's the most appropriate to the data set? So again, the mean, you're going to want to use the mean. It's most useful when there's no extreme values, meaning there's no extreme outliers. And we've talked about outliers a little bit. So say most people are scoring on a test out of 10. Most people are scoring 7 and 8. If someone scores a 1, that's really going to change. That's extreme. A median, the data have extreme values again, so you don't want anything that's way out of range or there's big gaps in the middle of the data. So say we had numbers of 1, 2, 3, and then we had 7, 9, 8, and so on. So there'd be a big gap between 3 and 7. The mode, the data have many identical numbers. It's most useful, so if there are a lot of repeats, you're going to want to use the mode. So here's where we have to select the measure that is most appropriate. So what you do is you kind of find each of them. So if we have this data here on the left of most common insects, we see that these are in the thousands. We have 400 beetles, 400,000, 165,000 butterflies and moths, 140 ants, bees, and wasps, 120 true flies, 90 bugs, and 10 caddisflies? I don't know. The mean, so we find the mean of all of these. We're going to add up all of the numbers, divide by the total number of categories, which is 6. We get approximately 154.2 thousands. The median, we're going to arrange the numbers least to greatest, and then we get 130,000. Again, since there's middle numbers, we have to add them and divide by 2. The mode, since numbers occurs only once, there is no mode. None of these numbers repeat, so there's no number that shows up the most often. They each show up once. The range then is our largest of 400 minus 10 for 390,000. So notice all these numbers are a little bit different. Some of them are closer than others. No mode. There we go. What that means then, and we'll ask to be justified our answer, since beetles and butterflies and moths are the only insects with a greater number of known species than the mean is not the appropriate. So we compared, our mean right now is 154, but there are only 2 different categories that is above that. So we're saying that the mean is not an appropriate measure. But since there is no mode, the median isn't appropriate. Can't do the mode if there is no mode. The median is appropriate measure because that's going to be our middle number in this case. And the range just tells us the spread of the data is 390,000. It's not something that's going to tell us where our middle numbers lie. So let's try. For this one, you can pause and try on your own, and then come back and check it out. So select the appropriate measure of central tendency to describe the data. So first we're going to find the mean. We're going to find the mean by adding up all of the numbers. So we're going to add them all up. I'm going to end up with 360, and you could show that here too if you needed to. So I'm going to do 360. Divided by the number of units I counted, which is 6 different categories. And I end up with a mode of 60 gigabytes. The median, I'm going to order them least to greatest. So 40, 40, 40, 40, 80, 120. I'm going to look for my middle number by crossing off from the outside. It looks like in the middle of 40 and 40 is going to be 40 for a median of 40. My mode is going to be the number that shows up most often. We can see that 40 shows up 4 times, so my mode will be 40. My range will be my largest number minus my smallest number for a range of 80. So I decide, okay, what's the most appropriate? Based on this data, it looks like the majority of them are 40. So I'm going to say that the most appropriate measures are the median and the mode. Both of them end up at 40, and the majority of these types of computers come with 40 gigabytes. And then the range just tells us that there is a spread of 80 gigabytes between them. So just a couple more examples to help us narrow some things down in a multiple choice situation. Spencer has the following scores on his tests or quizzes, and if the teacher drops his lowest score, which of the following will happen? So what you can do is find, look for the mean first, since that's the first category. So when I find the mean right now of all of his scores, I add them all up. I add up the 75, the 80, the 85, the 90, and the 90, and then I divide them by the 5 quizzes, and I end up at a mean score of 84. Should I get rid of the 75, then I'd be doing 80 plus 85 plus 90 plus 90 over the 4, and I end up with an average or a mean of 86.25. So that was an increase in the mean, so that would eliminate answer A. It does leave B as an option, but we want to find out about the median here on C and D. So the median originally on the numbers ordered is 85. After the elimination, it's going to be between 85 and 90 at 87.5. So it looks like the median increased. Well, it did not decrease, and it did change, leaving answer B as our answer. Darcy deposited $35, $10, $35, $25, and $50 into her savings account last month. If she deposits $44 this week, what will happen to the data set? So again, same type of deal. Why don't we test out the mean? So if you add them together, originally for the last month, her average monthly deposit, so we add them up and we get 120. We divide by 4 different deposits. She ended up depositing $30 on average a month for her mean. Well, if we added 44 to that, we'd get 166 divided by the 5, and then her mean would change to $33.20. So it went up, it increased, which again makes option F not true and makes G not true because it did change. So then we look, is the mode? Well, none of these numbers repeat, so therefore there is no mode. The mode still does not increase. Leaving the median, we can order them least to greatest. So we do 10, 25, 35, 50 the first 4 weeks. Her median would have been 30. Whereas after the next week, if we reordered them with her new deposited amount, her middle number would be 35. So it increased, making H our answer. So hopefully this was helpful for you. I'm making a mess. Hopefully this was helpful for you. And a little bit of a recap. Rewatch the video, check out other examples, and check out the personal tutor. We'll have a fun video for you tomorrow. Have a great rest of your day.